Welcome back, everybody. Harry P. from the Driftless Homestead. Hey, glad to see you show up today. I'm excited to share with you the 1222, and today we're going to just do a walk around, kind of explain to you the reasons why I chose to buy this log splitter versus some of the other log splitters out there on the market. This one, you know, I hate to spend money twice, and I bought a Speedco log splitter, and the thing constantly fills up with debris, and I pulled the wedge off, you know, because the debris built up behind it, and you know, you could just, things are starting to stretch apart on it, so you could just tell it's not as heavy duty or high quality as it should be, or that I would like it to be. So I went in my search for the last log splitter I'll ever buy. Number one is so I could have the box wedge and I could make some really nice looking wood for my firewood bundle business. And then number two, the fact that this particular one, some of the other ones you buy a box wedge unit and that's what you got is a box wedge unit. This one here can convert to other wedges. You can put a tall 4-way wedge on. You could put the 6-way wedge on. I think there's even a larger wedge on, but you would never need that, you know, if you're going to utilize the box wedge to its fullest extent. And another reason I want the box wedge is because when you split wood in squares, I think it opens up more of the grain around the piece of wood, which then in turn makes it dry out faster, because it doesn't dry out through the bark because it's like a plies on a tire, you know, that go around and it locks the water from going out that way. So it's only got to go, the rings are hardwood and in between the rings are softwood, so the softwood's got to carry the water out of the piece of wood. So the square split wood opens up more of that grain to the atmosphere, sun, wind, and it'll dry out quicker. So I paid right around $11,000 for this. Some people would say, oh, that's expensive, but not really when you look at its capabilities. You know, like I said before, you know, you could go in with somebody. My primary purpose was to make bundle wood. I could make $700 a cord on bundle wood. What do you need? You know, 14 cords and the machine's paid for. You know, so it's really an investment. And another thing is, you know, with the log lift and how fast it splits wood, you know, for my age, you know, when I get older, I'm going to be able to continue using this machine, where some of the other, like my single split Speedco, you know, I always having to lift that wood up onto the deck, you know, it takes a toll on a person's body, where this, you won't have that so much. So I'm going to take you a quick walk around and we're going to show you some of the features on this one, and I'm going to explain to you the benefits of that. As we go around the splitter here, we've got this giant hydraulic tank, which in itself is cooling by having that much mass, but then it has an additional cooler fan on there, so when it does get hot, it'll cool itself down. I know on the Speedco, I didn't know what was happening, but I boiled the hydraulic fluid out of the machine, because it was like when I went to check it, there was only like a quarter of the fluid left in there, so the rest had boiled out. This I-beam makes the thing super strong. It's 1-inch thick steel. This is 1-inch thick steel, you know, so the hydraulics are mounted up on it really good. So what we have here is a 14-horse Vanguard engine. Very strong engine, made in America. You know, I'm a big made in America guy. Everybody talks about the Hondas, but you know, that's not where the profits are going. They're not staying here. They're not paying people to build them. So big into American made products, and this one here, you know, is made in Wisconsin as well, you know, so that's where Briggs and Stratton is from, so you can get parts all the time for it. So that's a big selling feature to me. Another thing too, you won't see unless you look at a different log splitter. On this one here, this is the fill. It's a big fill cap that you can just grab with your fingers, and you could fill up more hydraulic fluid if you need to. This right here is your your hydraulic filter. Most other log splitters have that hydraulic filter. I mean, even you can even look at other commercial log splitters. They got that filter hanging out where a piece of wood can fall on it. You know, that's not good. Then you look at the size of that tire. That is a big tire. This thing can go down the street behind your car. You could push it around the woodlot with tires that big. It'll roll over small obstacles. Not a big deal. Then we come over to these Galtech valves. They are much bigger than any other hydraulic valve that I've seen on a log splitter that I've contemplated buying, and according to Andrew, they last a lot longer than the Prince valves or other generic type valves that the manufacturer saves some money on. Then we come over here, you'll see this push plate is just enormous. This push plate is 16 inches wide and about 18 inches tall. It's hard to tell. I got it in the right spot. 17 inches tall. You know, that's a big pusher. You're going to be able to push multiple. Well, I know when I was splitting wood with Chris and Tony with it, they were putting 3 logs inside here at one time. Which brings me to my next thing that makes this special are this cradle, this log cradle. You'll notice that they're angled in. There's 2 things for that. The log kind of cradles in there and sits in one spot centered so it hits your wedge center. But then when you have a big piece of wood and you try to walk it around, it's kind of like ramps. You can get the wood up on there and turn it and then let it roll back into its resting spot. So, you know, that's kind of a big deal that he thought about that when he engineered this machine, Andrew Easton it is. And to me, that's kind of a nice feature of it as well. When we go back here, I want to show you this. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3/4 inch grade 8 bolts holding that pusher onto the 1 inch I-beam. Nobody else uses that type of material on here. Plus, once again, look at the size of the steel you have on there. That's 3/4 of an inch steel that makes up with gussets that makes up that plate there. Then when we come down here to the working part of this, and this is really special too, this is actually a giant hunk of brass in here. You look at other log splitters and they're using plastic or whatever. Oh, they're saying it glides or whatever. Well, you know, I know what plastic looks like when you add friction to it. It starts to melt and get gummy. So this will last much longer. Andrew Easton claims he's never set out a replacement wear bar kit for this. So if you look here in this kind of reddish area, so you got blue, red, brass, red, blue. These red plates here are a type of phenolic bonded with, it's like a wood product, right? So inside here, Andrew's got he put this little bit of grease on there, but there is a Zerk fitting in there, and there is a hole in this top plate, a pocket, so to speak. So you fill that pocket with grease, and you do it a lot up front, but then all of a sudden this red piece here will become impregnated with grease, and it'll be self-lubricating from that point forward. You know, a lot of other machines don't have a way of lubricating your push plate, and then so most people will use motor oil and dump it on a surface, but it's really not getting it to where the lubrication needs to be. So this design is incredible. Then, you know, he designed this hole here, this pocket for the push plate, or for the pullback arm, excuse me. Kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. So here's our log lift here. And you'll notice it's all steel. Then it's got these steel teeth up through here. I've seen people sell what they call a commercial splitter, and they have stretch metal on there. Stretch metal does not hold up against wood. You'll see it starts to bend and dent, and it's just not a very long-term thing. And that's why you're buying a commercial log splitter, is to be something that's long-term. Next, you got this heavy aluminum catch plate for the wood to fall in. I don't know if you've dealt with aluminum a lot, but it tends to be, when you get thicker aluminum, it's kind of like spring steel, where it'll take quite the beating before it gets bent for good. So not only that, what the other added feature or benefit to this feature is this thing pulls off, and you can actually carry it. Even though it's thick and it's solid, you can carry it off of there, and then you can get in closer to that wedge to pick it up. Or if you just want to take the aluminum off for transporting it, that's quite a nice feature. Then when we come around this side, we have a dolly leg and then a support leg. You use them together to get the dolly down to support the machine when you got it set up to split. So that's kind of a big deal. Here's that pin. You just pull that pin out, and you could release this aluminum plate here to take it off for transporting, or if you just want to get at the wedge there, closer to the wedge. And then there is our hydraulic pump there. That's a bigger pump. And then just past the pump, you'll see the battery there. That is the battery that has electric start. You know, a lot of these other units, you got a pull start, you know, and I really don't think when you're spending this kind of money on a professional type unit that you should have a pull starter. So that's kind of a big deal too. So this is what it looks like. It's a heck of a splitter. Now, the Ultra, they claim, is 4-second cycle time. That's empty. That ram goes there and back. This has a 5-second cycle time, empty, there and back. I will tell you, I believe, everybody says, oh, the Ultra's the fastest. It was the fastest empty. But that'll only make you 4 pieces of wood there and back, and then you got to resplit 2 more pieces of wood. This will go down because this one's a 24 ton and the Ultra is 17, I think. This will go down and make you 6 pieces of wood at one time. So because you're producing more wood with this same cycle, 1 second slower on the cycle time, empty, but it's got more power. I think it splits wood actually faster than the Ultra because of that. So that's the quick walk around it. We're going to show you some footage of the unit splitting. Right now I don't have help to put the 6-way wedge, or the box wedge on, excuse me, but we'll show you some stuff with the 6-way.